Hey, what's up guys? Dustin here with Rocky Mountain ATVMC. Today I'm here to talk to you about the Safari fuel tank. When it comes to adventure riding, fuel range is extremely important, yet most stock tanks don't have the fuel range that you may need. Now, upgrading the fuel capacity on your adventure bike is one of the most common and most worthwhile upgrades that you can do yourself. Now, the KTM 690 here, for example, is an awesome, very capable adventure bike, but it desperately needs more fuel capacity. The stock tank on this machine carries 12 liters of fuel, which is approximately 3.2 gallons. Now, that'll get us a range of about 130 miles, which for most adventure rides just isn't enough. While we offer several different brands of oversized tanks that will fit a variety of different bikes, today I want to talk to you about the Safari fuel tanks. Safari is an Australian company who specializes in fuel tanks for serious off-road and dual sport riders. The Safari fuel tanks come in a few different colors and are available to fit a variety of different bikes. Now, by adding the Safari fuel tank to the 690, it brings the bike's fuel capacity up to 26 liters, which is just under 7 gallons, which will give us the much needed fuel range for those longer trips. Now, we actually just ran this tank on our last adventure ride, which was about 1,300 miles round trip. The Safari tank was awesome, was very comfortable, worked perfectly, and best of all, we didn't have to worry about making it between fuel stops. Now, with our type of riding, we're guesstimating that we have approximately 265 miles of reliable range, which is awesome. Now, a few things I want to point out here about this tank. As you can see on this bike, the fill locations for the fuel tanks are a little bit different from each other. The Safari tank sits quite a bit higher than the stock. Now, with both of these tanks full, if you were to open the petcock allowing fuel to transfer, the fuel would leak out of the stock tank's breather right here. So, to avoid that, make sure that you utilize more than half of the stock tank's fuel capacity before turning on your Safari fuel tank. Now, this fuel tank has 3 petcocks, one that's located on either side of the tank and one that's centrally located in the center. What's really nice about this is it's easy to access, especially when riding. Something that we've noticed with other oversized fuel tanks, you actually had to stop the bike, get off of it, and then access the petcocks in order to get to your additional fuel. Now, as for additional weight, obviously this is a very large tank. It's going to carry about 4 gallons of fuel, which will add approximately 25 pounds to the front end. It's noticeable, but you can definitely manage it. Now, as for seat to tank fitment, it's not bad. It's a little bit of a struggle, but it's definitely something you can work with. You'll notice that we've got an aftermarket seat that's installed on the bike, and the fitment is about the same as the stock seat. And the last thing that's really cool about this tank is it still allows for you to access the air filter and air box so that you can take care of that maintenance. Now, when it comes to installing these oversized tanks, it's something that just about anybody can do. When it comes to other bikes, you're just replacing the main tank, so it's really easy. Now, when it comes to this particular bike, the 690, it's a little more involved than most because we're not just replacing the stock tank, we're adding an additional one. So the process, again, is a little more involved. So the first thing you're going to want to do is remove the fuel from the stock tank. You're going to pull the mud guard, then you can pull out the fuel pump itself. Once you've got the fuel pump hanging out the bottom side of the tank, you can remove the fuel pump's body. Then you're going to take and drill just a couple holes that will allow fuel to be fed to the fuel pump. The third hole that you drill will feed the pump directly from the Safari tank. You'll reinstall the body onto the fuel pump with an additional component that is included in the kit. Once you have the fuel pump installed, you can move on to the tank itself. Now, you're going to want to take the tank, take off the gas cap, and take some compressed air, blow out the inside of it. There's going to be some debris from the manufacturing process that you want to remove. It wouldn't even hurt to take a little bit of fuel, dump some inside, slosh it around to make sure that you get it clean and clear of all the debris. Once that's taken care of, you can take and fit the bracketry onto the frame that will allow for your seat to mate with the tank once it's all installed. You'll attach some additional brackets to the left and right side of the bike to secure it to the frame. You can then route the fuel lines that will run from the fuel tank on both sides, meet to the centralized center part of the bike, and then on to the rear stock tank's fuel pump. After that, we can go ahead and position the tank on the bike. Then you can mount the additional brackets, one on each side of the tank. Lastly, we can go ahead and tighten down all of the fasteners. So that's how we do the installation for the Safari tanks on the KTM 690. So if you're looking to increase your fuel range on your adventure bike, Safari Tanks has definitely got you covered. Now, aside from the slightly involved installation process, this is really a worthwhile upgrade. Now, you can find this and many more items for your adventure bike on our website at RockyMountainATVMC.com, so be sure to check it out. And don't forget that any order that's over $75 ships for free. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm Dustin with Rocky Mountain. Thanks for watching.